Welcome to the Dawgs Podcast with your hosts, Blake Reneker, Zach Kopp, Justin Charles, and Josh All.
Hey, welcome back to another episode of The Dawgs. If you'd like to get your intro on the show, head to thedawgspodcast.com and tap leave voicemail in the drop-down menu. As you can see, Josh still isn't here because, spoiler alert, it's 5 minutes after the end of the last episode. We still got producer Kyle in the studio. He's been here for the last couple of days waiting for us to come back. We all wore the same clothes. We need more fan intros for whenever Josh gets back, so because he does all that cool stuff for us. So make sure you guys head to thedawgspodcast.com and leave us a voicemail. Browns have another tough divisional game coming up against the Bengals this week. Before we head into that, though, make sure you check us out on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and TikTok. You can also find us on Apple, Google, and Spotify if you prefer to just listen. Spotify, not Spootify. If you're watching on YouTube, please like and subscribe. Remember to tap the notification bell so you never miss a new episode. Lastly, if you're looking for more content, head to jointhedawgs.com to become an official Dog Pack member on our Patreon page. You got access to the episodes early. You get an extra episode every week, game day threads, fantasy leagues. There's a text group. There's all kinds of things in there. Everybody likes to interact, hang out. It's basically like an online Browns backers club. It's a lot of fun, so make sure you check it out. Jointhedawgs.com, become an official Dog Pack member. So like I said in the open, another big divisional game. Bengals coming off a surprising loss to the Jets, and Mike White, I think is his name, was the quarterback who
You better learn his name. He's going to be the new starter
He might
in New York.
So at the beginning of the year, excuse me again.
I don't know what it is with you in these start of these episodes.
I don't know what it is either.
Even a couple days later,
I'm
you're
going
still
on like 2.5 weeks of just like this cold that won't go away. It's super annoying. So probably because I'm just crazy unhealthy. It's like the least of my health concerns.
Yeah.
My foot's probably going to fall off during this episode. But make sure you check so the Bengals game coming up. Obviously, I would say as recently as a couple weeks ago, I wasn't overly concerned. And then they came out and whooped the Ravens, and we just keep losing. And it's like, and we can't score more than 17 points in a game. And now I'm more concerned. What about you guys?
That's fair.
I would say that I am concerned that, the Bengals may be better than what I thought they were, but I'm still picking the Browns to win this game. I mean, I think that I'm probably more optimistic than most people when it comes to this, that, I think the Browns, I wouldn't have been shocked that they would have been favored in this game. I mean, I know we're underdogs. I mean, you look at who Cincinnati's played. They played the Vikings that they beat in overtime that they should have lost. They won on a Dalvin Cook fumble that wasn't even a fumble. I don't know. A lot of people would say no, it wasn't. So they won that game. Then they beat the Bears they lost to the Bears, 20-17. So they got beat by the Bears. Then they played the Steelers, looked good against the Steelers, which most teams have except for us. Yeah. But then they beat the Jaguars by 3, and they were down for almost that entire game, came back to win. They were losing at halftime of that game. Then they lost to the Packers, which, they should have probably won that game. I don't know. But the Packers should have won it in regulation. Should have never went to overtime. And then they beat the Lions, who were terrible. The big win is the Ravens. Yeah. So they got a big win over the Ravens, and then your other wins are over the Vikings and the Steelers would be your other big wins, is what you're considering a big win.
And even the Ravens, I think the Ravens
they got
good.
2 terrible losses.
Now,
the Bears and the Jets.
Honestly, though, to counter you, man, what are our big wins?
None.
I'm not saying we have any big wins either, but
are we talking about Denver?
If I'm talking about Cincinnati, hey, we beat the Bears and they didn't. So
that's fair.
My logic says that we're a better football team.
They had to play Andy Dalton.
Right.
How many points did they put up on the Steelers?
24.
So
to 10, 24
2.5 times more than we did.
Yeah, 24-10, and then the Ravens, they won 41-17, lost to the Jets 34-31. Bengals can put up points. Their defense isn't very good. And call me crazy, but the Browns' defense, as much as we've bashed them, on here about how many they give up yards, they give up points. Well, the Browns' defense is giving up a lot of points.
Mhm.
They're really not giving up a lot of yards. When I went and I looked at it, the Browns are 7th in passing yards a game given up, and they're 3rd in rushing yards a game. So, I mean, if you put it together, they're a top 5 defense when it comes to yards given up, per game. If we were averaging turnovers at some of the rate of like what the Cowboys are and these other teams, I mean, it'd be crazy. It would change the whole season.
The biggest problem with our defense right now is the fact that we have a million busted coverages and give up the big play. And we never get off the field on 3rd down.
Yeah.
Our 3rd down efficiency it's got to be close to the bottom in the league. It's so bad. And I just don't feel overly confident that we're going to go into Cincinnati with Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase and all these guys, and on 3rd down we're going to get off the field. I don't know how you can be confident that we're going to get off the field.
I don't know. I don't know. What about it? And I don't know if it's because they're Cincinnati. And they haven't been, as long as the Browns haven't been good. I mean, they had some good years.
They've had more success than us.
Right, but I've never looked at Cincinnati ever as a game where I had circled, we can't beat them. I've never felt that way.
Oh, I have.
I remember when AJ Green would just be catching one-handed passes over
I've
Joe
never
Hayden.
felt that way. I've never felt that way about Cincinnati.
Yeah, no, that's fair. I'm actually it's a division game. I'm like super optimistic. I'm hoping that there's some kind of reaction, and all I ever hear from the players is, man, our chemistry on this team's crazy. It's so good, blah, blah. And I just don't see it translate. So for me, I would love to see the offense play a complete game. I'd love to see the defense play a complete game. This is, a tough opponent. You can make the argument that I know they're not the number 1 seed anymore in AFC North. I think it's back to Baltimore. But
Baltimore's number 1 in the division. But this, yeah. They come in at 5-3. We're coming in at 4-4. Yeah. We beat them. We're ahead of them in the division. Yeah. It's as easy as that. This game, I kind of mentioned it. We control our own destiny in the division still. Mm-hmm. We're talking about how like our season is it's kind of lost because of how we're playing, but everything is still right in front of us.
No, you just got to fix the issues quick.
Yeah, we don't have 3-4 weeks now to figure it out. You got to figure it out in the next couple weeks here. It's got to be figured out before the bye.
Yep.
Which we're going to because we're going to be 7-5.
Attaboy.
I'm interested to see how we respond. To be honest, that Steelers loss we just suffered, that's an embarrassing loss. That's a loss. No, that was inexcusable, honestly. Nobody thought we should have lost that game.
But did anybody think that they were, is it an embarrassing loss for the Bills week 1? Because they beat the Bills.
It is.
I think the Steelers aren't as bad as what everybody thought that they were going to be.
No,
they're not
agree
great.
With you there.
They're not great, but they're still.
They're going to win some
games. It's 2021, and they can't score points.
I think that, but if you look at their team, I think they can win without having to score points. I think their defense is that good.
And their defense is not. Let's look at the games they've won. So the Bills game, yes. Which week 1 though? I don't know. It obviously counts, but when nobody's played in the entire preseason, week 1's almost like a preseason game. So. Let's look at the Steelers' wins. They've beat the Broncos, who are trash. They beat the Seahawks with Geno Smith, who are trash. And they've beat us, who is trash. And what was their 4th win?
The Bills.
And then the Bills. So they've beat since that Bills, their only 3 wins are against terrible teams. Let's see how the season finishes up.
But then if you look at the teams that they've lost to, though, if you do that with the wins, you got to look at who beat them. They lost to the Packers, who's arguably the best team in the AFC or the NFC. No. They lost to the. You don't think the Packers are one of the best teams in the NFC?
I thought you said the best.
No, I said one of the best teams. Well, right now, I think they are the best team in the NFC.
Record-wise?
Yeah. They are the best. They just beat the undefeated team, and they have 1 loss. So I think they are the best. They're number 1.
They're not the best team, though.
It's a good argument. That's right.
Tampa Bay's got a worse record than they do.
Okay.
I get what you're saying, bro.
Okay, so the number 1 seed in the NFC is who they lost to.
There you go.
And then they lost to the Bengals, who was just the number 1 seed in the AFC, and they lost to the Raiders, who I think are 5-2 or something like that, coming off a bye. So they've lost to the teams that have.
So they lose to good teams and they beat bad teams, which means they're.
I just don't think the Steelers
mediocre.
are as. I don't think that they're as bad as what we thought they were going to win 4 games in the year. Bad.
No, I never thought that. I said they're going to be 500.
But I think. Cincinnati. Okay, enough of the Steelers. We had enough talking about that. But the Cincinnati game, They're gonna probably either our defense is gonna show up and we're really gonna have a great game plan to bottle up them, or they're gonna score 30 points and we're gonna have to score 31 to beat them.
I think we'll be lucky if they only score 30.
I think that bottling them up is going to be hard to do because there's going to be eventually somebody open.
So normally I
They're
say, take away this and make them do this. The problem is they can run the ball with Joe Mixon, and then if you try to take away the run, they'll just throw all over us. And we've yet to show that we can get any kind of pressure. I mean, we get pressure, but we're yet to show that we can cover anybody long enough to actually make a quarterback uncomfortable. Big Ben was super comfortable against us, and he can't move. So what's Joe Burrow going to be like when there's nobody around him and he's got Jamar Chase and T. Higgins and Boyd just running around nonstop? Not that their tight end is decent.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I don't know. The defense has done nothing for me against good teams to make me think we have any chance to hold them. I think we're going to have to go touchdown for touchdown with them, which is going to require Stefanski to open up the playbook. He's going to have to get rid of this idea that he's got to protect Baker in his shoulder, and he's got to just open it up and let the chips fall where they may, because we're not beating these guys with 10% of our playbook. It's not happening.
I agree with that. That's fair. I do think that it's not that I know what you're saying, Zach, and I think that our defense can show up. It's just they haven't shown up against the really big teams yet.
No, I mean, the Steelers' offensive line sucks. We got 2 sacks. You know what I mean? So
The Bengals' offensive line really isn't that good when it comes to the pass protection either. Joe Burrow gets hit a lot too. So, I mean, they're okay at running the football. And when we talk about them in the passing game, most of their huge thing is bombs to Jamar Chase. I mean, Jamar Chase has caught 7 touchdowns, I think, on the year, and probably 5 of them are like 50 yards or more.
Well, newsflash.
Which is,
the
I
Browns
get
are
it.
susceptible to giving up bombs.
Well, I got Jamar Chase in fantasy, so that wouldn't hurt my feelings.
I don't know if you remember that Chargers game, but Mike Williams just kept catching touchdown passes with nobody within 50 yards of him.
I don't know. You guys can think that they're gonna score. I don't know. For some reason I got this feeling that this is like a 30-24, 27-24 type game.
I will say this
because it's in the division, and that's typically what happens.
I will say this: a lot of times when you think a game's going to be like shootout, then at halftime it's 3-3.
Right.
But I don't see that happening.
We'll see.
But I think I'm interested to see how our guys respond. Like I said, this was an embarrassing loss. So are they going to, like, take that personally and come out in this game fired up with an edge and, like, knowing that the season is on the line, essentially? If you dip below 500, oh, man. If people think it's bad now listening to not just national media, I listen to Cleveland Browns radio all day. It's not good. What's going to happen if we dip below 500 with 2 straight division losses? It's going to be ugly. So just like the Steelers came in this week talking, they know what's on the line for this game. That's the way we need to. We need to be preparing this game like this is it. This is the season.
Yeah, I big game. I think out of Nick Chubb. I think Nick Chubb could have a big game in the running game, and I think somebody like a Felton or Johnson. I mean, Michael Carter just diced these guys up. Yep. You know, I think he had 90-something yards receiving out of the backfield. So I mean, if they're going to give that up, then we have to exploit that. I hope, you know, and it seems to be that, like, what other teams find success against against like a team like the Bengals. So like what the Jets just did, right? The Browns never do those things. And I sometimes feel like when we do our game plan, like we talked about, we wanted to have, you know, Johnson involved and all these things that we did the week before in Denver, and then it was like we didn't do any of those things the next week. So I don't know. I hope that, you know, he's got to mix some things up. You can't be run the ball heavy in the first quarter, then we're gonna fool them, and now we're gonna pass on first downs, and then it seems like Justin said, he's watching the same game every week. It's like it's the same. Like you could almost predict what play is going to be called.
I will say up front on offense, we got to block Trey Hendrickson.
Yeah.
He's been a very good pickup for them. I don't know how many sacks he has.
I'm not sure either.
But I know even if he doesn't have 1 million sacks, he pressures the quarterback a lot. And it seems like when he does get sacks, they are like in big moments. He's got 7.5. So, I mean, he's not a slouch out there.
No.
He's got 7.5 sacks. Next person on their team only has 3.5. And guess who it is? Larry Ogunjobi.
Yeah.
He's playing well for them.
Yeah.
Which is another case. And he didn't play that great for us last year. To me, it's like another
Joe Woods' problem.
playing another guy kind of out of position, and then he goes to another team and he plays well.
Right.
So
I mean, you look at what the Jets did. I mean, the recipe for success for them was running back, ran the ball well, 15 carries, 77 yards.
their backup had a good
And
game
then, and then you had Michael Carter out of the backfield catching the ball, 9 catches for 95 yards. Jamison Crowder, kind of a similar Jarvis Landry type, 8 catches, 84 yards. So, I mean, they were able to, like, just dink and dunk their way down the field to get points. And, Mike White put up 405 on them. So I think this is – and Joe Burrow's a little susceptible to the turnover too.
He
like
is.
He's not afraid to try to throw it,
Sling it
in the double coverage type of situation. So I think this might be a game where finally we get a couple turnovers and it, swings the game.
I feel like that's something people don't talk about. He's got 9 picks.
Yeah. He's a
throws
little loose with the ball.
He's like a pick a game.
That game against the Packers that, it should have been over and it should have been over in regulation. Then they got the ball in overtime, and what's he do on the first play? Throws a pick.
Yeah.
If that was Cleveland, people would be I couldn't imagine what they'd be saying.
So to me, it sounds like a recipe for success for the defense. Get pressure on him.
Force him into bad decisions.
Force him into bad decisions. He's susceptible to the turnover. He's got 9 picks. I'll bet you we don't have any turnovers.
I'm gonna like I said.
Cleveland has no turnover.
I'm betting you.
Yeah,
we
we're
don't
not
pick
going to
them.
turn the ball over.
No, I'm saying I'm betting we don't force any turnovers. That's my hot take.
Your hot take. I say we get.
Joe Woods has let me down so many times.
I'm gonna go on and I'm gonna say we have multiple turnovers. They have multiple turnovers against us this week.
Put it on the board. No,
Yep.
I'm just kidding.
I hope so because
Book it.
it's hard to get turnovers though when you're never around the guy who he's throwing to.
Yeah, I think that. Yeah, we'll see.
Is Denzel Ward gonna be back?
Don't know.
sound like
I know
it.
John Johnson might be out. He had that neck injury.
Denzel Ward might be off the team.
When does JOK come back?
It's a long time from now.
Yeah, he's
It's
out.
still. I feel like they said it was gonna be 4 to 6 weeks. Like,
Oh
last
yeah,
week.
we were talking. Like he might not come back till the bye.
yeah,
See if I see
it hasn't
anything
been
on
that many 4 to
Denzel,
6
but
weeks.
It just feels like it's been.
It feels
Hasn't
like
been
it's
that many of
feels
those.
like it's been such a long.
when he's
time.
not out there on the field, though. It
And
is
we're
so
losing.
it's so noticeable.
Yeah.
But one other thing we didn't talk about in the Steelers game and our recap of that is Ronnie Harrison's been a letdown.
Yeah.
As much as we want to talk about Grant Delpit and stuff,
Playing
like
him out of position again.
we need to have better play by some of these veteran guys. Now we can blame Joe Woods in the scheme, but like some of the stuff is just boneheaded. And we talked about the discipline, the late hit, and then we were like defending him after that week 1, and we were like about Harrison and defending him. Now I mean, but you're still doing that same stuff. So now I'm like, well, maybe you're just that type of guy.
Maybe you're an idiot.
Yeah, like that you're just looking for trouble when it comes to those situations. Because some of it, the one against it was stupid. I don't know what he was thinking. And it's plays like that and we have the one rookie LeCount that I think
He's
been out.
I guess he's in the doghouse.
I didn't know he was in the doghouse. What's he in the
I
doghouse?
think he didn't
for?
play or didn't practice or something last
So
week.
he
Put
did
the
something.
toilet seat down.
It was last week or the week before. Something they said he didn't practice or play. And
Well,
all
Kevin,
Stefanski
what's Ronnie
said-
got to do to get him? He's trying to get in the doghouse.
All they said was disciplinary reasons for about LeCount. So I don't. But he played well in the preseason. So if I had to put a number on it, points we need to score this game to win, what are you going to put it at?
27.
I am thinking more like 35.
I was going to say 30.
I need I think 35, 28.
Let's just at least go out. If we're going to go out in this game, let's go out swinging.
Yeah,
Open it
go
all
out
the
on
way up.
shield.
Let's run our play action rollouts. Let's make the offense look good. And let's come in here next week just complaining that we gave up 50 and the defense sucks again. I don't want to. Let's get the offense back on track. And like we said kind of in the last episode, get Odell involved. I know people out there just think he's awful. How can we evaluate him? We never throw him the ball.
It's fair.
John Johnson day-to-day with the neck sprain. Stefanski said he is hoping Ward returns this week, but we'll have an update on Wednesday.
So we'll see.
That sound good.
Yeah.
And then, but yeah, somehow get Odell involved. Throw it to him a bunch of times, and if he still sucks with 12 targets, and I'm not talking like 12 targets and then, 9 of them are terrible throws and he's have to try to jump. I'm talking about in stride, hit him in the chest. Let's get him involved. Make it so he is the reason why we don't think he's good. Right now, I don't understand how people can evaluate him when he gets 2 targets or 1 target a game. It's crazy. And to say he's the problem when he's our second leading receiver and he missed 2 games.
I think he's just held to such like a higher standard.
Yes,
he's like the wide receiver version of Baker
which is
Mayfield.
crazy to me is people are holding him to a high standard because he makes $15 million a year, but nobody holds our quarterback who's the number 1 pick in the draft to a high standard.
You don't think that people hold him to a higher standard?
I think there's a lot of Baker apologists.
Oh, my goodness. I don't know, man. I hear a lot of hate.
There's a lot of hate. Sometimes from me. I'm not afraid to admit it. I'll put my opinion out there. I'm not going to run from it.
Right.
But that's because he's a number 1 overall pick. So I expect him to play like a number 1 overall pick, just like people expect Odell to play like a $15 million a year wide receiver.
Yep.
So I don't think that's wrong.
It's a fair argument.
Yeah.
Both ways.
And the difference is Baker touches the ball 35 times a game and Odell touches it twice.
Right.
So
Always got to be able to get open to be how the ball
And
because sometimes I think that, and I think that goes back to a little bit of what I've said, in the last couple of years, that Odell's just not. I don't know if he's 100% bought in.
He's open on 70% of his routes.
To this, so I don't know. I don't see that fired up Odell.
You didn't see it in the Denver game? He was pretty fired up in the Denver game.
Didn't translate to much.
All I'm saying, because we don't throw him. He caught 2 passes and we took him out.
So, I don't know. We'll see. I said that I want to force feed him the ball a little bit.
Feed him the ball, and let's find out. Just like I said, open the playbook, and let's find out. Feed that guy the ball. Let's find out. Because right now, we don't know crap about our team.
Yeah, I can find out before the deadline. Find out if he's the guy.
It's tomorrow.
Oh, dang it. I thought it was next week.
No, I'm saying find out before the end of the season.
Yeah.
Because right now, we don't know what we have at many key positions. You can't honestly tell me, and everybody thinks they know about Baker, about even Jarvis, about Odell. Nobody can tell me they are 100% certain about those people on our team right now.
You know what sucks is we should be having a conversation today about who are the Browns going out and getting before the deadline. Who are we going to go get that extra piece? And we're not that team this year. We're not that
There's
team.
no point.
Yeah, we're not the Rams going out there making deals. We're not that team.
Somebody from the Patreon group texted and said, has anybody heard anybody say anything about the Browns? What would we do?
No.
That would to make us better. We have enough in-house. We should be better than we are. So open the playbook up. That starts at Stefanski so we can truly evaluate our quarterback. Hey, quarterback, let's throw the ball to what is supposed to be our number 1 receiver so we can truly evaluate him. People already they dog on him so much. I haven't heard anybody talk about – Baker played the worst game of a Browns receiver all year.
Jarvis, you mean?
Jarvis.
Yeah.
And nobody is on him like they are on Baker when he has 1 drop.
Right.
Or Odell. So force feed that guy the ball. Let's do something because what we're doing right now is not working. But I guess that was a little bit of a Bengals preview, then a little bit more of complaining about our team.
Yeah.
It's going to be that way until we can turn it around.
Yeah.
But I think we got to score a lot of points, and I think it's going to be key to force Joe Burrow into at least 1 turnover. He throws more than a pick a game right now, so don't let him off the hook. Try to limit Joe Mixon in the run game because their next leading receiver is Samaje Perine at 139 yards. He has less yards than our 3rd leading rusher. Mm-hmm. And so just make it difficult on them. Please don't play soft coverage. Please bring some pressure. Let's hit Joe Burrow. Let's make him uncomfortable. And then on offense, open it up and sling it around. When I say open it up and sling it around, I don't mean Freddie Kitchens' offense. I mean offense where we do what we did last year with rollouts. We took shots downfield, that kind of. I'm not saying 5 wide Patrick Mahomes offense. I'm saying our playbook from last year, let's get back into it and open it all the way up. So anything else? You guys ready to move into game picks?
Game picks.
Yeah, I'm ready for that.
All right. Well, before we get into the game picks, I got to remind you guys to check out Symbol. Head to symbol.com/Dawgs, DAWGS. Right now on Symbol, that promo code will get you a free $10 plus your deposit up to $500 is 100% refundable. If you play the stock market for sports, you don't like it, it's not for you, you have a bad break and you lose all your money, all you got to do is contact Symbol. They give you your entire deposit back, risk-free, with promo code DAWGS, DAWGS. There's two ways to win on there. You buy stock in a team. As their stock price goes up, you win money. Also, every time they win, you get an instant cash payout that week. There is also Pick 3 leagues. You're going to jump into Pick 3 league. Look for ours. It's the Dawgs Podcast League. Once you join, you're going to pick 3 games against the spread every week. Person with the most points at the end of the year is going to win a free Browns jersey of any player they want from Symbol. So head to symbol.com/Dawgs, DAWGS. Play the stock market for sports risk-free with promo code DAWGS. All right, so let's move into these picks.
All right, so our weekly pick'em here. We have Thursday night football. The New York Jets coming off a win, taking on the Indianapolis Colts at Indy. Indy 10.5-point favorite at home. A lot of points to give up to Mike White and his 405 per game passing yards. So I'm gonna go to the Jets. I'm gonna say they cover. I'm not gonna pick them to win this game, but I think they could keep it within 10.
I'm going to go with the Colts. I kind of like what they're doing, man. I like what they're doing a lot.
Would you take Carson Wentz in Cleveland right now?
At the beginning of that game yesterday, you would make the argument, and then at the end, he threw another terrible pick.
It was
that one was bad. And then let him back.
He had been playing well.
I feel like Blake would take him.
Then he threw that pick.
Nobody can win here. Everybody sucks.
I'm gonna take the Colts just because I think their defense is way better than the Bengals defense.
Okay. Let's go Denver Broncos taking on the Cowboys and what looks to be Cooper Rush. I saw some stuff that could be multiple weeks for Prescott that they keep him out. Dallas favored by 9.5. I'm gonna take Denver because I'm basing it on Cooper Rush's playing again, and Denver's got a week to game plan for Cooper Rush playing against him.
Yeah, but here's the thing is Dallas's defense is so good that they could shut out Denver.
Yeah, but
I think Cooper Rush can put 10 points up on the Broncos.
Okay.
So I'm going to take Dallas to cover.
I'm taking Dallas too.
Okay. Houston Texans, maybe with Tyrod back. He almost played this week taking on Miami. Miami, 7-point favorite at home over Houston. A touchdown favorite. Give me Houston.
Both teams. These teams are so bad.
Yeah, give me Houston.
Yeah, I'll take Houston.
I'm going to take Houston to cover.
Yeah. You all right?
No.
Get this guy a drink.
The Browns have been losing. I've been under the weather.
You're losing.
Yeah.
I'm all collared up. I feel gross.
Yeah, people are going to wonder why you're all dressed up. They're not used to seeing this side of you.
I had some business to attend to before this.
So then we'll take us to Las Vegas, taking on the Giants. Giants, a 3-point underdog at home to the Raiders.
Raiders.
I'm going to take the Raiders.
Raiders as well. Patriots coming off a win over the Chargers, taking on Carolina. Patriots, a 3.5-point favorite.
Patriots.
On the road.
Patriots. Darnold throws 8 picks.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Patriots as well. Funny, Belichick's got Herbert's number. He beat him like 45 or 50 to nothing last year, and when they were like a good team, and then just beat him again. He's probably tired of playing the Patriots.
How about ever since we made Justin Herbert, it looked like the second coming of Dan Marino. He's been bad. There's been a lot of bad against the Patriots.
Yeah, there's been a lot of teams this year that have been up and down, and Bengals up and then they lose. The Chargers are the team, and they lose. The Chiefs just never kind of been the team yet this year. See how they looked on Monday night. But we got Buffalo at Jacksonville. Buffalo is a 14-point favorite, 2-touchdown favorite on the road against Urban Meyer.
Buffalo. I'd have taken if it was a 28-point favorite.
I don't know if I would have taken that, but
they didn't look good against Miami though this week. But I'll take Buffalo as well. That's a lot of points. 2 touchdowns.
We're seeing though a lot of they're covering.
Yeah, 2 touchdowns.
the defense is really, really good.
All right, we got the Chargers we just talked about taking on the Eagles, who stomped the Detroit Lions this week. Eagles are a 2.5-point underdog at home against Herbert and the Chargers. I'm going to go Chargers.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're all taking Chargers there. Kind of an exciting game if Kansas City shows up for this one. Green Bay at Kansas City. 3-point favorite for Kansas City at home.
Green Bay.
This one's tough.
3 points.
I'm taking Green Bay to cover, but I'm going to pick Kansas City to beat them. This is like a 31, 30, 35, 34. This is a high.
We're making this pick before we get to see the Chiefs play tonight, but I'm going to go with Green Bay.
All right. So then we have Arizona Cardinals taking on the 49ers. 49ers are a 2.5-point underdog at home, divisional game out west. Cardinals for me.
49ers.
Oh, okay.
What was the spread again?
2.5-point favorite Cardinals over the 49ers at.
Is Kyler playing?
I don't know because
Dinged up.
Yeah, he sprained his ankle. They said on that last drive.
Well, I mean, that's a big deal for me to make my pick. What if my family's counting on this?
Luckily, I don't think they are. You just sold a house to a couple of kids, so I don't think that they are.
These kids were suckers. They didn't see. I bamboozled them.
Right.
No, I'm gonna go. I'm gonna operate under the assumption that Kyler will play, and I'll say the Cardinals, but that's pending on whether he plays or not.
Okay. Tennessee Titans without Derrick Henry now, signing Adrian Peterson, taking on the Von Miller era of the Los Angeles Rams. Von Miller with Aaron Donald and Ramsey. I mean, they're loading up out there.
That's right.
So Rams are a 7.5-point favorite at home. I'm going with the Rams.
Rams.
I mean, I just love how aggressive they are in everything they do. I wish we would be like that.
Right. It's not that long ago that they weren't very good.
And what's crazy is if people were like, how can they afford to pay Von Miller?
The Broncos are paying.
The Broncos are paying
Yeah.
for him.
Yeah, they just had to give him draft
They
picks.
gave him
to pay for
$9.5
him.
million.
They gave him 2 draft picks, but he's playing for them for free.
Yeah.
We should be able to do things like that.
Yep. All right, and then we got on Monday night will be Chicago Bears taking on the Steelers. Steelers 6.5-point favorite. I wish I knew if Matt Nagy was coaching because that might hinder me on who I was picking here. I'm gonna go with Chicago.
You said 7.5?
6.5.
I'll still take Chicago.
I'm taking Chicago.
The Steelers are the favorite?
Yeah.
I'm going to take Chicago to cover. The Steelers will probably win, but both offenses are booty. I could see this being like a 10-7 game or something.
I hope not. That'd be a really boring Monday night. All right, takes us back to our game of the week. Cleveland taking on Cincinnati. Cincy, a 3-point favorite at home, taking on the Browns. I'm taking Cleveland.
Taking the Bengals. Prove me wrong, please.
I'm going to take the Browns.
I like it. See, you could have still taken the Browns there and made the fans happy and just been like, oh, I picked Cincy to win,
Listen,
but we're going to keep it close.
There's got to be a villain.
Yeah, and lately, when we first started this podcast, I felt like I had to be that guy, but now Blake's just solely taking that
Yeah.
role.
I don't sugarcoat it. I tell it how it is. Somebody called me the beta.
I hope they're still watching.
Yeah, I don't give 2 craps about what anybody says. I'm going to come on here and say what I think.
All right, Mr. Beta. You
Yeah.
should get a shirt that says that.
Yeah, I'm the beta. So that wraps up our Bengals kind of preview. We kind of went on just rants about the Browns, but hopefully you guys still liked it. And then those are our game picks. Hopefully Browns come out and prove me wrong. I want nothing more than them to prove me wrong, but until I see our defense stop a good quarterback and until I see our offense put up more than 17 points, I can't pick us to win. Prove me wrong, please. Thanks for checking out another episode. For everybody who's a member of the Dog Pack, we'll see you guys on the After Hours show. To everybody else, we will see you guys next week. Hopefully, brighter spirits after a big division win with the season still out in front of us. Thanks for checking us out. We'll see you guys next week.